Hello. Hi, we are going to discuss the concept of mole now. Okay, it is a very basic concept of chemistry. Okay, throughout the session, we would be explore this concept now. So, what is the mole? If you understand the concept of dozen, like if you don't, then let me explain this to you. Like a dozen of anything is 12 of those numbers, or it is 12 of that thing. If we say like for example, if we say a score, it is of anything of 20 of it. If we say a century, it is 100 years, right? So dozen is also anything which is 12 of that thing. So just if we take any amount, if I give you the example of ice creams or bananas or rose, whatever the substances, whenever we are using the word dozen, it means number 12. Similarly, mole can also be related to a number, and that number is so important that it has been called as, like it has been, we call them as a Avogadro's number. Okay, what is Avogadro's number? Mole is equal to Avogadro's number, which is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Now, it is very important to understand that we don't have to worry about whatever thing we are dealing with. Like it is irrespective of the nature of the element, like whether we are dealing with the element, whether we are talking about the moles or molecules or the compounds. So, whenever we are using the word mole, it always means this number. This magical number is what is called as Avogadro's number. Now, according to the definition, if we see the formal definition, what is the definition of the mole says? The definition of the mole says that one mole is the amount of the substance that contains as many particles as there are atoms in 12 grams of C12 isotopes. So you can visualize this we can visualize a balance where we can keep if we keep this 12 grams, if I keep 12 grams of C12 isotope on one pan, and if we keep on adding the substance to another one, so by that time when the both will get balanced, so this particular substance is what is called as a mole of that substance. So according to the definition, we can say, so mole is that amount of substance that contains as many particles. Now these particles could be atoms, molecules, anything, electrons, 1 mole of electron. That way also, its mass is equal to it consists of that many particles with as many atoms there are in 12 grams of C12 isotopes. Okay. So scientists also count the atoms and molecules by weighing them. So why it was so important for us to understand this concept of mole? Because this is that bridging concept which is going to relate the number of the particles to the mass of that particle. For example, if you see, suppose if you know, like, so what we can understand is, to understand this we can take one more example. Suppose I take a box, let us say I take a box like this, okay, and into this I kept, let us say, 5 balls, okay, 5 balls where each ball is weighing 10 grams. How many balls were there? If I say it was 5 balls, where each ball weighs 10 grams. Okay. Now, if I ask you to express the content of this box in terms of the mass, then definitely your answer is going to be 50 grams. Why? 10 times 5 is equal to 50 grams. Now, if I ask you about to express the content of the same box in terms of number, then definitely you will say it's very easy. It consists of 5 balls. It's very easy. So you would notice here that the content is still the same. We have not taken anything out. We have not added anything over here. Just the content could be expressed in 2 different ways. One is in terms of numbers. Another is in terms of mass. Similarly, mole could also be understood in a way like it is some amount of substance like this. Okay, this amount could be expressed in terms of numbers, as well as the same amount of substance could be expressed in terms of mass. Now, just now we have already discussed the link between the mole and the number. If we speak about the link between the mole and the mass, then a mole of any substance, this is the full definition, which just now we have covered that, contains as many elementary units as the number of atoms there are in 12 grams of the C12 carbon isotopes. At the same time, the number is also called as Avogadro's number. This 1 mole is equal to this many particles. Okay. Now, one mass, the mass of 1 mole of a substance is called as the molar mass. It is symbolized as this. So, what we have to understand? Lot of mass, lot of numbers is going around. To ease your understanding, we can understand it like this. Like, in terms of number, just now we saw this example where the content could be expressed in terms of number. In that case, we can relate 1 mole to be expressed in terms of mass, as well as mole could be expressed in terms of numbers. So if we say how the mole could be expressed in terms of numbers, then 1 mole of any substance it could be atom, element, it could be the atoms of various elements, molecules or compounds. It is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 chemical entities. So whenever I say 1 mole of water consists of how many water molecules into it? The answer is going to be the same, 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 water molecules. If I say, okay, now let me, please tell me 1 mole of iron or 1 mole of gold. This consists of how many gold atoms into it? Then your answer is still going to be the same. It will consist of the same number, 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 gold atoms or iron atoms into it. Okay. Now, let us see how we can express the same amount in terms of mass also. So, the mass of 1 mole of any substance is called as molar mass. Okay, and it is symbolized as M, and its unit is grams per mole. Now, for elements, if we talk about the molar mass, then the fancy definition goes that it is the mass of any 1 mole of any substance. When it is expressed in grams, that is what is called as the molar mass. To simplify this, you can understand if we are dealing with an element, then its the atomic mass is its molar mass. If we are dealing with a compound, then the molecular mass would be its molar mass. For example, if you see the hydrogen is existing in a diatomic state. So its molar mass is going to be 2.02 grams per mole. If we speak about the helium is noble gas. It exists in a monoatomic state, right? So therefore, its molar mass is going to be 4 grams per mole. If you see for the nitrogen, oxygen, both of these two gas are non-metals. They exist in the diatomic state. In this example, you could see their molecular mass would be their molar mass. Similarly, let us take the example of a compound of carbon dioxide. So for this, it is a molecule of a compound carbon dioxide. So for this, the molecular mass of the carbon dioxide would be its molar mass. Okay. So from this, what we can say, suppose let's take the example of water. So water, what would be the molar mass of the water now? It is going to be 16 contributed by the 16 plus 2, 18. 18 is the molecular mass, so 18 grams would be its molar mass. Now, from this, why we have now, it's very easy, easy to understand. Now we can understand that 1 mole is some amount of substance. The same amount could be expressed in case of numbers. Then we can say like the 1 mole of water consists of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 water molecules into it. At the same time, 1 mole is equal to 18 grams. So therefore, we can say this. And if you remember, I told you in the beginning that this is the bridging concept that relates the mass to the number. So therefore, now we can conclude that the 18 grams of water consists of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 water molecules into it. Okay, so this is a very important concept, and this is how, if you have understood this concept, then we can tell how many particles there are in the given mass of that substance. Okay, so therefore the knowledge of mole is very important. So let's recap what we have seen. Now, how we can convert the given mass. If you know, the moles of the atoms is nothing else if the 1 mole of moles of any atoms could be found by dividing the given mass by its atomic mass. Atomic mass, in case of the elements, it would be their relative atomic masses, whereas The moles of the compound could be formed by the given mass divided by its molecular mass. Molecular mass is the relative molecular masses. So, if you have any question, you can ask me. This is the homework. You can take away this question to solve it and to check. Right? So, thank you so much for being patient. And if you have any question, don't forget to ask me. Thank you.